Hey y'all, my name is Jasmine Jones and I am a licensed clinical social worker, and you are now watching Black Girl, a Therapist in the Wild. And this is a little show I like to call Therapist Sips and Reviews. And today we are reviewing Abbott Elementary Season 5, Episode 1, Team Building. How y'all doing? And we're sipping on Bacardi and Kahlua. Yes. How you doing? So anyways, I said at the end of the last video, I'm going to watch my show. I know we're supposed to be boycotting and, so I said, I'm going to watch my show. I've been to Target about twice this year, and that was to get these candles that I use in my office. I got Palo Santo, and they only sell them big ass candles at Target, and they last for months at a time. I ain't been to Starbucks in like 2-3 years. I'm gonna watch my show, and that don't mean that y'all shouldn't boycott if you want to, but for me, I'm tired and I'm Black and I'm tired. And white people are the majority in this world, and they decided that they was only going to boycott when somebody that looked like them and had more money than the majority of them motherfuckers do got his show taken away. And so, they have the power to do all that, to bring his show back and shit. They got enough power to boycott and do all the stuff that they supposed to do. So you know what? I'm going to watch my show. My special interest. I'm going to take my once a monthly sojourn to Disneyland. And, I'm just going to live and try to find peace as much as possible and still try to bring light to the atrocities that are going on in the world, because, I find peace so I can have the energy to bring light to the atrocities that are going on in the world, and also the atrocities that are going on with my clients. So you know what? You take the things away from me that bring me peace, I can no longer try to help other people find peace, because I will no longer be at peace enough to be able to help people find peace. So you can boycott. And there's nothing wrong with boycotting all these motherfuckers and these evil white corporations and shit, including Disney. I'm not gonna boycott my show or Disneyland. I don't. This is a personal thing for me because it makes me feel good. And when I'll be talking about how we all are weak-minded in some way, where we have trouble coping with it's some area of our lives. Each and every one of us have individual things that we're weak-minded about and have trouble coping in that certain area. And this is one of them areas for me. I'm weak-minded. I am not going to be able to cope without having it. And so I'm going to do what I want to do. And, to thine own self be true, while also recognizing that, it's probably fucked up, but I'm still going to do what I want to do. I'm almost there to where I'm probably not going to watch that Harry Potter show when it comes out because, trans people matter. But there are just certain things where I'm going to Disneyland. I'm a semi-Disney adult and I'm going to Disneyland. I'm going to watch Abbott Elementary. So, if it's triggering for you, you don't have to watch this. This is for me to be able to talk about my special interest ad nauseum without people looking at me like I'm crazy. Or if they do look at me like I'm crazy and leave crazy comments, I can just block them and shit. I don't know. So, it is what it is. So I just wanted to get that out on the first episode. So if you have any questions or concerns about, why aren't you? Because I don't want to. I don't want to. I am not strong enough in this area. I don't know what to tell you. At least I can admit it. And if I'm not going to work on it, I'm going to Disneyland. I'm not going to work on it because working on it would mean involving me slowly moving away from going to Disneyland. I'm not going to move away from that. That is the slight little bit of happiness I find each month. It's like a little mini vacation where you get to pretend that you are in some fairy tale fantasy land for a day. And all the shit outside of the fairy tale fantasy land does not exist. And as long as I have the access to that, even though I know them poor Palestinians don't have access to none of it, and they can't say that they are going to partake in things because everything's been taken from them and they've been murdered and killed and all the other stuff in the Congo and Sudanese, they can't say I have access to things that will make me feel better enough to have enough energy to help people. So as long as I have that access, I will be accessing some of those things. I don't know what to tell you. I'm trying my best to get to a place where I do not watch that Harry Potter show when it comes out. So I'm actively working on that. But I'm going to Disneyland. You're not taking everything from me. Should it be taken? Probably. They blow that bitch up, that shit shut down, and I'm forced to not go just like during the pandemic, then it is what it is. But you know, I just want to get that off my chest. I don't want nobody coming over here commenting and saying I didn't say shit. And you know, you reviewing this and they did. I know they, you know, like I don't know what to tell you. I'm weak minded and shit. I can't cope without the things that make me able to cope. So you know, this is my comfort show. So we're gonna get into reviewing this comfort show. So the gang is back again. It's a new school year. You know, Janine is chipper. Everybody's chipper. You know, even Barbara's chipper. Like she's just extra happy this year. I don't know what's going on there. We'll find out. Maybe she's gonna retire. I don't know. She mentioned it like as jokingly, but like I just feel like it keeps coming up because it came up last season, and I just feel like I mean I guess it's fine. You don't need. Like I said in the last video, like Kenta talking about she like was thinking this show would end after 5 seasons, and I'm just like, if you want to, if that's where your heart is, in the heart of the people on this show is leading y'all to, you know, I can't tell niggas what to do, but damn, like, no, because there's no other show like where black people are being random and weird, where there's multiple seasons, and you know, like even white people watch it, so it's more likely to stay on and have multiple seasons. And it's like it can only be one. It can only be one. It was Insecure for a long ass time, and then niggas get tired of playing the same motherfucking roles. It's exhausting. I get it. Whatever. And then here come Abbott Elementary, and it's great. It's wonderful. It's magical. Like, it didn't get canceled, and there's a love story, and there's multiple love stories now, and it's beautiful. And it's just like, okay, well. So whatever happens at this point, whatever happens. I am not here to dictate the lives of separate individuals and shit, but I hope something good happens to where there can be more than just one every few years. But they're in this, like, it's development day or something. I guess it's like one of those developmental days that teachers have where like you get out of school early and stuff. It's interesting to see. It's basically just like any other training day situation that you would have in any other corporate jobs. You're just sitting around doing like icebreakers and weird shit and stuff. You know, I was thinking about it when they were doing the icebreakers and the team building activities and stuff, how like when I was reviewing him and looking at the cult stuff, and it was talking about how cults make you do like repetitive, like sometimes harsh team building activities. It's like being in the trenches in war. Like you have a camaraderie with someone else that's in the trenches with you, so they try to mimic that through these weird ass team building activities to incorporate. Like it's all a cult. Everything is a cult. It's just a repetition to get you stuck somewhere. That's but anyway, so like there's slight mention of a counselor coming to the school. So finally, hopefully there's a therapist that will be coming into this place. But they're doing the development day, and then I guess a new teacher comes in, and he's Barbara's old student, and Barbara's ecstatic. She's just happy. And then, you know, I just love Ava and Shamarmar. I don't care because no, this is how excited that you're supposed to be about a nigga. Not like to the point where like, cause she was saying some shit that sounded more so like, you know, like this is the only person in the world I can trust. So we're leaning a little bit too much on him. But like, that's what it feels like when you finally find that person. Like, you just be excited and happy and all this stuff. And like, niggas don't like when you're that excited. Not in real life. Not in... So it's nice to be able to see that illustrated, that she could be that excited about her nigga, and like, it just looks natural and shit. Now I want to see her excited about her nigga in the same room with her nigga, and like, you know, just like glorifying that acceptance of her excitement, because no nigga has ever been accepting of me being excited to have him. And I just, you know, what does it look like? I'm curious. What is it? Because my excitedness is a very neurodivergent excitedness. And so my excitedness looks like really, really excited. Like, when I get happy about something and excited about, I'm like a little fucking kid. Like, oh my God. And I just want to, like, oh my God, I can't believe that we're here. We're doing this. And have you done this before? And this part of that. And I just want to keep talking about. And like, I look up in mid rampant talking and hyper manic smiling, and motherfuckers is looking at me like I'm crazy. Or looking at me like with disgust, like I've just annoyed them or just vomited on them or some shit, you know. And I had to really learn that fuck them. I'm not going to quiet my excitedness. I'm just going to keep it to myself then. I don't need to talk to you about this, and you obviously don't share in my excitedness. So why should I care about your response to my excitedness? I don't give a fuck about your response to my excitedness at this point. I'm going to still be excited, because if I don't allow myself to be excited, it gets pushed back down, and it goes from extreme happiness to extreme just upsetness and overstimulated and questioning myself. And I'm going to do that. I'm just going to be excited. I'm just going to be excited about the new experience that I'm experiencing, the new people that I'm experiencing, the new person that I'm experiencing in a dating situation. And if the people and the person and the things aren't excited back, then, you know, the people and the person don't need to be in my motherfucking life. You should be grateful that I'm that excited to have you in my life. If it makes you feel uncomfortable, then obviously you don't see the wonder in yourself that I see in you. And if it makes you feel uncomfortable to the point where you're treating me fucked up and you're treating me weird and you're treating me like I shouldn't be excited to have you in my life, then obviously I was wrong to be excited, and you need to get the hell out of my life, because I'm going to be excited to be in love. I'm going to be excited to be in love and to be loved and all those things. And I'm going to be excited to have you, and every little thing you do is going to be exciting to me. And it just is what it is. And if you can't accept that, if you can't accept somebody like praising you and being happy to have you in their life and things like that, then you should just stay the hell away, far, far away from me. You know, saying it sounds like, why would somebody not want to be loved on and praised on and, you know, not pedestalized? I don't pedestalize, because I see your flaws, but I love you in spite of your flaws, and I think your flaws are an integral part of you, and so that makes a part of you, though, that makes you even more fascinating. You're fascinating. And, you know, like, niggas don't like being fascinating. I don't fucking know. So to be able to watch this black woman be excited and bring this nigga up over and over again and talk about him like he's a fixation and just revel in that happiness, it is going a tad step too far, just because, like, when she was in the team building meeting, she was talking about how, like, she made up this whole situation in her head about how, oh yeah, they tried to fire me at the district because I was with him, and Janine tried to keep me from getting my job back because I was with him. And I'm just like, are we pedestalizing him, girl? It's okay. I know, because you don't trust nobody. So this nigga got through all the levels, broke down all the walls, got to the final boss, and now he is safely ensconced in her heart. And she don't allow that to happen. She one bitch don't allow that to happen. So when it happens, it's a very rare thing that she allowed herself to be that vulnerable. Like if he were to leave her, the crash out. No, because when you open yourself up that wide to where you're gullible and naive, and you think that there's nothing that's going to move you from thinking that this is real unless there is abject betrayal in front of your eyes, like you just crash. The earth just opens up and you fall and you fall and you fall. And so I really do hope that she can just enjoy this happiness and this love is returned and it is true for her and her experiences, and it never leaves, and they get married and have little babies, and it's beautiful because the crash out will be just ginormous. But no, she can't put all that into that nigga. She needs to trust other people too. No, that's a weight on your partner. Like, just because I find a nigga fascinating don't mean I don't find other things fascinating too. I just find you fascinating on another level because you're my nigga. Like, maybe like a higher level than everything and everybody else. You have to have hobbies and other things that you like, and you have to have people in your life that you trust outside of this nigga, because people are fallible and they will mess up sometimes. And if you put them on a pedestal, even the slightest mess up feels like a betrayal. You left the toilet seat up. See, I knew you was gonna fail me. Like, girl, girl, he just left the toilet seat. He's not failing you, love. He just left the toilet seat up in the bathroom. You just tell him not to do that shit, and hopefully he stops doing that shit, because why would you do that? So you have to like find a balance. When she's saying shit like oh, like Janine wanted to keep me away, but we got our love together. Like, now I feel like, oh, she's pedestalizing him a little bit, because like, no, girl, like Janine cares about you, and that's not what she did, and she showed up for you, and she actually was like fighting for you to get your job back and shit, and like all these people care about you. Like, you are cared for outside of just this nigga. So hopefully she figures that out so that she can have a healthy relationship with this man, and also, have a healthy relationship with the other people around her that care about her, and because she sees that they care about her and stuff, But it was just beautiful to just see her so overjoyed and happy. I don't even care if she was rude about it. Fuck it. Like... Like, I felt that in my spirit. I did. Yes, I did. Like, it's very rare to find somebody accepting of your fascination of them. Like, if somebody was fascinated with me and I liked him, and like, I wouldn't care. As long as he wasn't disrupting the shit I was trying to do, like when I didn't want to like interact with him like that. So like, if you want to watch me do hobbies and shit, you can do that, nigga. Like, don't be getting in the fucking way and shit. Like, I don't care. Now, would it cross my nervous system as fascination at first? No, I'd probably just think this nigga was weird. Like, look at him, he likes to watch me do shit. Well, whatever. But like, no, over time, like, I'd probably be able to believe it after a while. After consistency over time, I believe that a nigga was fascinated in me and shit. But like, not in a weird controlling way. Like, because I'm not a weird controlling way when I'm fascinated with dudes. I just, I like watching you tinker with stuff and do things and talk and move and, be a living human. It gets fascinating and shit, nigga. Like, but like, you can have your alone time. I need you to have friends and shit, because you can't be all up under me all the time, 24/7. Like, girl. So it was beautiful to watch her be able to just be fascinated by this nigga and his love for her and her love for him and all this other stuff, and it was wonderful. And then like, we got this white dude coming in, and he like wants them to do like these team building exercises, and so they go out there and do these team building exercises, and then Janine is feeling the type of way because Barbara is being extra nice to the new teacher who used to be her student. And like, she's being the extra nice off top. Like, she was mean to Janine for at least 3 seasons. She had a little funky ass attitude and shit, right? And so Janine's feeling the type of way because Janine's like a codependent, because she grew up with an emotionally abusive mother, and so like, she's literally looking for a new mom to attach to, because she finds her validation in how people view her instead of finding it within herself. And so she should work on that. Hopefully she works on that this season. Oh God, I'll be saying shit like this when I'm in session with my clients. I'll be saying it just with that tone of voice, and they be like, damn, you didn't have to read me that hard. I'll be like, what? Like, when I'm saying it doesn't necessarily register as a read. It just registers as me stating facts, and I'm just letting you know these facts so that you can work on them. But then when they say that shit, I'll be like, oh, well, I mean, did it hurt your feelings? I'm sorry. No, but like she finds her validation by the role that she plays in people's lives. Like, she doesn't find her validation outside of that. The roles that she plays in her students, like does she have hobbies? Does she? I think she had, like, she likes to watch Disney movies and shit. Like, that's a hobby. Like, you know, and she got that one friend, Erica. You know, slowly but surely she's expanding herself outside of the people that she is in relation to. And so, you know, she's figuring it out. But like, she was sitting up here like, oh, who am I if I'm not Barbara's little sidekick? And I'm just like, girl, who would you be if you was just alone in the world? Who would you be? I'd be that nigga off of the Twilight Zone where he found he it was the apocalypse, and like he was by himself in the world, and before the apocalypse happened, like, he would be reading books all the time and shit, and niggas would be mad at him because he was fixated on reading books. Like, he'd be reading books at work and reading books at home. Even his wife was mad at him for reading books. And I'm just like, I mean, like, why don't you read books? Then y'all can talk about the book. You don't like to read. Why would you get with a nigga that was fixated on reading? You thought he was going to stop reading, love? Like, whatever, girl. Anyways, the apocalypse comes, and he stumbles across a blown up library with all these books scattered and stacked around. And he's just like, finally, I have all the time in the world to read all the books and do all the things. And then he drops his glasses on the ground and they break and I would have figured it out. Shit, I would, you know, I'll turn a shot of them glasses into a monocle and shit and be like, no, that's who I would be. If I was alone in the world and no one was here, I would be reading books. I would be exploring random ruins and shit because they'd be all over. And, you know, hoping that it wouldn't be like a Mad Max or a zombie or, you know, apocalypse or whatever. So that way I can just freely roam through the world and looking at things and touching stuff. That's who I am at heart. I am a looker and a toucher. I am fascinated by pretty architectures and, you know, touching things and seeing their textures and things and exploring stuff. So that's who I would be. I wonder what Janine would say about if she was ever alone in the world completely. Like, what would she do? Like, how would she thrive? She'd probably go insane. That poor little child, she'd go insane. Cause she can't be by herself, cause she don't know who she is outside of these relations that she has with other people, and that's sad. No, that's sad, because everything outside of you can't control. So you're gonna lose it, or it's gonna rot, or it's gonna leave you. And so, like, who are you once these things go away? Like, that's where your true strength is in building your inner person, so that no matter what happens, you always have you. And, you know, if you have like a higher power and shit, that'll always be with you. Like, I need to have a higher power, because I don't know if I could ever get to a place where I could trust my inner person 100%, because being a human being means that you're imperfect. And eventually I'm gonna fuck up. And if all I have is myself to rely on, I don't have like God's magic to rely on, I'm gonna crash out. So, you know, but like for people that don't believe in like a higher power, like you can have, and they probably really trust themselves a lot. They trust themselves a lot and believe in themselves a lot. And, you know, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. And so you gotta just believe in yourself, because that's all you gonna have really at the end of the day if some shit happens. And so she walking around like vulnerable to like having a major emotional meltdown if any other people in her life leave her in any way. If they die, if Barbara retires, if Gregory breaks up with her, I don't think Gregory's he loves the shit out of her. He gets hit by a car, I don't fucking know. She's not prepared to survive and thrive after that. Like after grieving and things like that, she's not necessarily prepared because she puts too much of her personality into these people and the relationships that she has with these people, to the point where she doesn't know who she is outside of them, and those are the people that are most likely to crash and fucking burn as soon as they lose people. That's sad, so hopefully she, over time, she starts to develop more of a personality out. Like she was sitting up here talking about, I was her Scooby-Doo to her Shaggy and da-da-da-da-da, but who am I if she got this new kid? Like the possibility that Barbara ain't got enough room in her heart to love multiple people and shit. Like, you don't trust that people can love you and love other people, care about you and care about other people. Girl, that is a handicap. Like that's what causes people to start being extra controlling and weird and shit like that. Because like, oh, you have other friends? Oh no, like that's gonna pull you away from me. You can't have other friends. No, you gotta trust that person can have other friends and other people in their life, but still have you as a top priority. Like you gotta trust that. And if you can't trust that, then you don't need to be mingling with people, because that's the risk you take with mingling with people. And so, because there's a risk and a reward in everything that we do, and the risk of mingling with people is that you have to share them in certain aspects, and you're going to lose them one day. Whether they die or they leave, you're going to lose them one day. And so, but the reward is the things you learn in interacting with those people, the things you learn about yourself, things you learn about people, the ways that you become self-aware because of the ways these people treat you or show up for you. Be able to trust that people can show up for you because you've seen it and you know what it looks like, because you allow people in your life to show you what it looks like. Be able to get support from people that care about you and stuff, because them leaving you may not be until they actually die. And so they could be in your life for a very long time, until you're old, like 80s and 90s and stuff or whatever. And so like, to miss out on the possible experience of having people in your life for a lifetime, that I don't want to do that. The possibility that they may leave me is scary, yes, but the possibility of never experiencing having people that care about me in my life for like a lifetime is even scarier. So I'd rather take the risk of potentially losing people and having to start all over again and finding people and stuff like that, just to be able to grow and also have an experience where I can have people in my life for a lifetime. Why not? Why not take the risk? I've gotten to a point where I can lose people, I can grieve, I can, that's made me, a little bit tougher in that area, to where tough just means that I know how to cope with it. Like, I know how to cope with it enough to where it doesn't scare me. The thought of losing somebody doesn't scare me to where I won't even try to invite them into my life. Now, it seems odd because often I say like, oh, well, I don't like talking and interacting with people a lot just because like it's exhausting. You got to get past the front door with me. But once you're past the front door, I'm like all in and shit, nigga. Like I'm all in, just like Ava. Like, this is my nigga. He's the only nigga in the world that is trusting. I know, girl. I know it feels that way. And the only reason that is because people look at me and they make up some shit in their head about me before even talking to me. And then when they do interact with me, whether it's verbally or even just with body language and shit, they're treating me based off of some shit that they made up in their head. And I can tell because like it'll be like little tone of voice things, little rude body language things, little like rolling out the eyes things, and I'll just be like, I ain't never talked to this person in my life. Why is she rolling her eyes at me? Like, what? And then I'll just let it go. It's like she just made up some, 8 season Game of Thrones story about who she thinks I am in her head, and now she's like got some little funky ass attitude that she gave herself, and I don't feel like dealing with that. I don't feel like dealing with the hoes that be talking about, I thought you were a bitch when I first saw you, but you're really nice. How about you not assume shit about people? Like, and I know it's like human frailty and shit like that, but at this point, like, I don't feel like dealing with that shit, nigga. Like, I am 38. I'll be 39 in April. Like, it's coming fast. And I just am tired of dealing with motherfuckers' insecurities, putting that shit on me like I did something to you when the fuck I didn't. I haven't said anything to you. You haven't heard me speak one word to you or anyone in this room, and you're assuming I don't got time for it. I'm going to be over here happily doing the shit that I want to do. I don't need it. So it don't even, but the thing is, it don't even take a lot to get through the door with me. Just ask me a fucking question, talk to me and shit, and I'll talk back. And then it's like I talk back and they got that look on their face that basically says like, oh, I thought you were a bitch at first, but you're not a bitch. But these ones that have the look and don't actually continue and pursue the conversation, they just have the look on their face that they thought I was a bitch and now they're finding out I'm not a bitch. It's like they're disappointed that I wasn't a bitch. Like they needed to prove something. So they don't continue the conversation after like the initial first few sentences. And I'm just like, okay, girl, I don't know why did you even start talking to me then? Like, I don't see the energy it takes to deal with that over and over and over again, because niggas want to assume shit, and you can tell in the body language and the tone of voice that you're assuming shit about me. And then, but you can't say nothing because it's just the body language and the tone of voice. Because if you say something, they're going to have a full crash out talking about gaslighting. What do you mean? You can't assume everything's about you. I wasn't even thinking about you. And okay. I just don't engage further past, like either we're not talking or like it's just going to be a sentence and then that's it. Some cordial greeting. That's it. I don't feel like it. But once you in the fucking door, my nigga, like you in the door, like you show me enough to say that you trustworthy and loyal and shit, and you enjoy my company and I enjoy your then we're good. We're golden. Like you chill, like you know how to handle your shit, your emotions in a proper way and communicate and shit. Like we're good. Like I don't understand in my mind it's simple. In my mind it's a simple thing, but like to people that have these insecurities that make them have toxic thoughts about people that they feel are better than them or something. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Like, do you think I'm better than you? Like, do you think that I think I'm better than you? Like, I don't know what the fuck it is. So that's what I'm assuming. There's an envy, a jealousy. I made up some shit because I don't like myself, and she over there looking like she like herself. I don't know, but that's what it feels like. So that's what I'm going to say it is. But the shit is fucking annoying. So no, it takes a little to get in the door, but once you're in the door, you're fine. So no, it's a handicap for Janine to be like that, because basically when you're like that, it opens the door for people that are predators that see that shit to come in and be manipulative and abusive and take advantage of you like her ex did, But no, she got a Gregory, and a Gregory is going to help her through that, and hopefully she eventually ends up going to therapy. Like I said, there was a whispering and a hint of, there was a counselor coming in the beginning when Ava was at the meeting. I don't fucking know if there's actually going to be, because then didn't the district take their money back and shit and say that they couldn't have that money that they got at that one meeting. So I don't know if there's going to be a new counselor. She whispered it, and so like it may or may not be, because when she whispered it and this white man walked out, I was just like, is he going to be the new, why isn't the new counselor black? Like, Oh God. And then Gregory is over here like helping Mr. J, because I'm going through my head. I'm like, is it Jefferson? I think it's Jefferson girl, Mr. J. He's helping him ride a bike. That was cute. I was like, oh yeah, look at helping him ride a bike. And then like as we're doing this too, we're just casually like in this environment of chaos that the school district provides because they're not taking care of the school. Like literally there was a gas leak in the school. The school could have exploded. The school could have, if anybody had lit a match, it lit dropped something and it sparked a little bit, like the school could have exploded. And they just like, oh, well, we'll send somebody to fix the oven because that's an immediate danger. But like the ceiling that has a hole in it, because Mr. Morrison, whatever the fuck his name is, Mr. Morris, whatever the fuck his name is, was sleeping in the school during summer break and probably during the school year too. He ain't got nowhere to go. And I just feel like that's how it is. That's how it is. We sitting in this world that's falling apart, and like we just is nonchalant about it. Like, oh yeah, the school could have exploded. Oh yeah, they over there killing babies and shit. Congo is over there like they making kids dig fucking rocks out the fucking rocks and shit. Like, oh well, so I know I'm complicit. But at the same time, I'm still trying to be an advocate and talk about it and put it out there. I need to have a balance, okay? I'm not totally complicit. I'm not dissociating completely and acting like nothing's happening. I'm just saying that there are things that I need to have to dissociate occasionally. And as long as I have access to them things, I'm going to use them things to dissociate occasionally. And then the times that I'm not dissociating, I'm going to be advocating and talking about it and and having the little Palestinian scarf and stuff. So, I'm finding a balance in this space. Leave me alone. But, there are people out there that are just fully dissociating, just fully just like acting like nothing's happening and stuff. Like, I go to this church, it's cool or whatever, but like it's like a mixture of folks, but it's mostly white folks, right? And like you could tell that some of these people might be Trump supporters, right? But I'm going there just to get the word and have an experience and like not fall into whatever the fuck, cause they everywhere and shit, nigga. Like they at the office that I work at. I can't just stop going places because these motherfuckers is infiltrating everywhere and shit. Like I'm gonna go to church, I'm gonna have an experience, I'm gonna listen to the word. The people preaching the word ain't preaching about that shit, so I'm gonna enjoy it, right? So but like when I'm sitting waiting around, like I'll scan around the room and I'll see like these white women on their phone scrolling through Instagram and shit, and they be scrolling through the most whitest cookie cutterest of shit, and I'll just be looking at my shit and I'll be like, it's Gaza, it's Congo, it's Sudan, it's people dying, a dead baby here. I'm just like, how like dissociated do you have to be to make your algorithm nothing but like bitches in them big brimmed hats and running through the field and sugar cookies and shit? Like everything you scroll, like I'm not in people business, but you can see the phones are big, the screens are big, you look around the room, you see somebody, you glance up, and I just be like, this is what the majority of people are doing. Like they just dissociating completely 100%. They like and that's what's being represented here. Like literally, if anybody had rubbed a book against a piece of wood too hard and a little microscopic light flared and shit, nigga, that motherfucker would have exploded. And they're all just like, oh, this training is this fucking bullshit. Oh, there's a gas leak, okay, we'll just take the training outside. Like literally the school could have still exploded while they were outside, and they're just like, whatever, like this is just us living in this chaotic space, so who cares? And it's a metaphor. It's a metaphor about how people are dealing with what's going on in the world. I can't be mad at people that occasionally dissociate, because if you have access to be able to occasionally dissociate and just have a moment where your nervous system can even just slightly reset before you get back out there and fight the good fight, do what you need to do. But no, it's people aren't occasionally dissociating to reset. They are literally out here acting like nothing's happening, nothing bad is happening. Like, they went to a fucking apartment building in Chicago and raided that bitch full of black folks and shit, and had them kids outside naked and shit, and then separated the kids from the parents and shit, and nobody did anything. I seen an alderman and shit. It was like this little stud girl, and she was like trying to protect this patient in the hospital, and she was the alderman of the area, and these motherfucking ICE niggas dressed in damn polo shirts and jeans and shit with no badges, no vests, nothing that says that they're a part of law enforcement. They arrested this bitch because she was trying to ask for a warrant and shit, and I just am tired. I don't know. Like, we can't all dissociate completely to the point where we not even talking about it or posting about it or nothing. And like, I be thinking about this shit all the time, and then it's like you can't talk about it with people because people will get them big eyes and be like, well, and then look away and then be looking like they want to get away from you and shit. And I'm just like, so when are we going to be able to talk about this and with people just in general? Like, it needs to be talked about casually. It needs to be talked about openly on a regular basis, that the world is being destroyed. Like, it needs to be talked about, and nobody's talking about it. And that's what this was a metaphor for, I believe in my spirit, because the school could have literally exploded. Like, y'all don't understand. Like, and they just casually blew over that like it was nothing. And I think it was on purpose to just illustrate how the world is about to is exploding. And like, there are so many people just casually blowing over that shit. And I just, like, I felt antsy when they said the stove was leaking gas. I was like, why aren't they more like like, ain't nobody scared? Like, literally, like, it was like the South Park episode about the school shootings, and the only person that was like having a panic attack was Stan's mom. Everybody else was like, oh, well, Stan got home safe, he didn't die, so yeah, like, it's normal, it's happenstance, it's whatever. It's and kudos to South Park for doing an episode about Gaza and like talking shit about Trump, and just continue on with the productions that they produce, because that's who South Park is. And them two white men said, take our show, we don't give a fuck. They even did an episode one time, I think it was like in the 20th something season, talking about, when are we gonna be canceled? You're gonna cancel us? When are we gonna be? We should end this. We should, like, I feel like that episode was like, they tired. Like, they don't care if you cancel them. Nigga, like, they're rich. And I'm glad they did it though, because those are some Jewish men. And like, to speak up on it in such a big platform, maybe nobody might have. And I know they have racist episodes and it's fucked up and all this other things and shit like that. I can still point out that they doing some shit that most celebrities ain't fucking doing, and most celebrities ain't putting on their platforms and shows and shit. And so I could say that was a good episode and I enjoyed it. Yes, I did. So I felt like that's what that was for. That was because like, Ava didn't even like panic until like the camera. No, she didn't even panic when the cameraman passed out. She didn't panic till she walked over to check on the cameraman and smelled more of the gas. And then she was like, oh shit. And then she put a mask on, and then she got everybody out to school. But literally, like, they're in front of the school. If it exploded, it would explode out past the parking lot. Like, them people would have died still. No, I think that's what it was. I think it was a metaphor. And then, like, they're giving Janine a humongous classroom because there's not enough second graders to have 2 teachers. And then they're sending Melissa to work with the 6th graders. And at first she's like, oh, it's like, whatever, I can do this shit, nigga. I can work with the 6th graders. And then Jacob and Mr. Morrison, or whatever the fuck his name is, the one time that they're together on something is in trying to scare Melissa about the sixth graders, talking about, oh well, they're preteens and they just they are. I would never be a teacher, especially not no teacher to no preteens, no middle schoolers, no high school. Like, I could probably do like a small, in any grade, because it's like you're corralling a bunch of kids with a bunch of different personalities and shit. I could work with a kid one-on-one. So I can only imagine working with sixth graders, and they smell and they got little funky attitudes and they trying to be grown when they're 11. And then you're just like, what, how am I supposed to, what do I do with this? So, so she, Barbara gives her a pep talk and gives her words of advice. And so that makes her feel better. And then, Janine's trying to figure out what her role is at the school now since this new teacher came. And so like she gives him a little pep talk because he needs help trying to understand like how he's going to approach this on his first day when the kids come and stuff. And so she realizes that her role now is to be a mentor. She's a mentor, so she has worth in this environment because she's a mentor. Maybe you just have worth because you're there, honey, like because you're just you. That's what your worth should be. That's where it should start. I'm just me and I'm cool, and that's why I'm worthy enough to be here. That's where it's just, but that's easier said than done. And I'm saying it like I just a switch just flipped on one day and I just knew. Absolutely not. I worked for decades to get to this place consistently, and I had to bang my head against a bunch of brick walls to be and have a lot of bullshit ass consequences to be able to get to this place. So I think it's triggering to see yourself. Because I used to be like that. I used to find my worth in how other people viewed me and shit, and like I was just like that. And I remember how it felt, and I remember what it looked like. And now to see it in someone else and be like, damn, like if I had kept going at that pace, I would be in some abusive ass relationship getting hit in the face right now. There would be no YouTube channel. I would be trying to survive. But at least I got a nigga though. So anyways, they all band together and teach Mr. Johnson, there you go, how to ride a bike. And the dude that was there to like from the district to do the team building stuff is like, well, y'all need to be doing these icebreaker ass cult activities and shit. And then, Barbara just gently turns to him in a very motherly, what is it? Godmotherly way, and is like, well, this is team building, honey. And he's like, oh yeah, so we don't need to do nothing else, because see, look, we as a team taught this grown-ass man how to ride a bike because of whatever happened in his life that made him skip over that part. We as a team got together and did this, so and he's like, oh yeah, okay, yep, it is team building. The way I would half-ass my way through these types of jobs and shit, nigga, as long as motherfuckers showed up, we had a 15-minute conversation about the shit, and then I would have left, and then I would have been like, yeah, we team built. You gotta document shit though, and if you document it and it's proven that it's fake, then it's fraud. And let me shut up. No, but this was a good episode. I enjoyed it. There were nuances to it that I like. Abbott Elementary, because there's some really deep shit, but there's like nuances to but no, what am I saying? I like Abbott Elementary because there's really deep shit happening, but they cover it up with wholesomeness and like fun shit. So like you have to really think about it, like to get it. Like, why aren't they more upset about the fact that there is a gas leak at their work and that place could have blew the fuck up? Why aren't they more that if the gas had already gotten all the way from the cafeteria into the library, that means that shit had spread across the school. All I needed was one little spark, one little light bulb to spark off or some shit, and that bitch would have blew the fuck up, and everybody was just like, oh, you know, whatever. Oh, yeah, you know, school's breaking down. I feel in my spirit that's some commentary. That is some commentary on some shit. Like, and the fact that Janine gets her self-worth by her relationships instead of it coming from herself, and the fact that even though Ava is expressive and joyful about her relationship as she should be, she still got trusted. She don't trust people. She don't trust. That's why she made up that elaborate ass shit about like, see, and it's just you and me, like, you making up fantasies and fairy tales about this nigga now, girl. Like, he ain't Superman and shit, girl. He's just a man. Like, he loves you and cares about you. Just don't push him too high up on that pedestal, because once he makes a mistake and you can't handle it, and you ain't gonna know how to communicate about it, and now it's gonna be a he keeps leaving the toilet seat up, and fuck him, he don't love me, and girl. No, that's what happens. That's what happens when you don't see people for their full selves. You put them to you see them for the thing you made up about them in their head, in your head, and when they do something that don't match that thing that you made up in your head about them, you get mad. Like they betrayed you, when in reality they been had shit like this going on, and you was overlooking it, or you was in denial, or you haven't had enough of an in-depth conversation to really know the depths of this person. So this is your first time seeing this, and like now all of a sudden it's betrayal, heartache, loneliness. Like, what are you? We have to go into these relationships as healthy as possible. That's how they last as long as possible. If we're not as healthy as possible, then it's not gonna last as long as possible. And healthy just means I know how to cope with shit. Because healthy don't mean I ain't gonna hurt. Healthy just means that when I hurt, I know how to cope with it. I know how to communicate it. I know what I deserve and what I don't deserve. I know how I deserve to be treated and how I don't deserve to be treated, and so on and so forth. Right. So it was a good episode. We're gonna see what happens next week, or this Sunday. They say that this is technically the beginning of the week. I'm gonna still say next week, because why the fuck not? And we'll go from there. Maybe if I have the space and the time and the breath and the width, I might throw in a movie occasionally, just because. But like, I don't know. It's a lot to be. I think it's because I'm like drinking and shit, and I get hyphy and shit, and that shit scrambles my brains too much to do something else after I already did something. And I'm just tired and I want to go to sleep. So if I had the energy and the wherewithal to do so, I will definitely throw in a movie or some shit. But no, let me know what you thought of this episode. I hope you enjoyed this review. So basically with this channel, like, I had like 3 shows I was reviewing when I first started this. Oh no, it was another show. So I was doing Euphoria. What is it? P-Valley. What's that show? That woman got raped and shit. I Will Destroy You. That was just 1 season though, so that ended. But they already wrapped P-Valley, so when that comes out, we'll get 1 episode reviews, because that's what I was doing before. Depending on if it comes out and like Abbott Elementary is still going, because like, you might get chunks of episodes or some shit. I did Gen V, and so the 2nd season of that is out, but I did that in a chunk, so I'm gonna just do that 2nd season in a chunk when it comes out. And then the 3rd season of Interview with a Vampire, I'm just gonna do that in a whole chunk, because it's like a whole thing. And then I gotta look up Anne Rice shit, because I ain't read her books in a minute, and so like I can't just be like doing that episode by episode on top of this and eat right. So this is gonna be like episode by episode, because this is my comfort show. I don't give a fuck what you're talking about. And so like this is all that's gonna be on this channel for today. Unless they take like a break or some shit, because they be taking breaks and shit for like 2 weeks and don't be showing episodes and shit. But yeah, this all gonna be on this channel until they take a break for right now. So do with that what you will. If you don't like Abbott Elementary, there's other videos on this channel that you can watch reviews of if you so choose. But this was gonna be on here for the next few weeks, so I don't know. Because niggas followed, during the summertime when there was no Abbott Elementary, and I was doing random ass videos and movies and shit and shows. And so you may have thought that random ass videos and movies and shows were going to continue. No, for the next few weeks, it's gonna be Abbott Elementary, because I have a job and I get tired and I'm not doing 2 videos a week. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not like these young kids out here. I don't have energy for that. So do it what you will, like there's other videos on this channel. So, if you don't like Abbott Elementary, there's other stuff to watch. If you so choose to stay on this channel. But I did get some new subscribers. So how y'all doing? So, I hope that you stay. I hope that you enjoy these reviews. I try to put in like some mental health stuff in here so that y'all can connect the dots, some real life stuff, so that maybe some people will feel validated and be able to find some things useful as far as how they want to lead their lives and things like that, and hopefully it helps somebody overcome something and stuff, because I want to be helpful to the world too. At the same time, I want to also be respected and have my boundaries respected and stuff, because, just because I put stuff out here don't mean that I want to be bombarded by people that, want to assume that I'm not a human being, and that just because I put stuff out here, that means you can say or do whatever to me, because absolutely not. I always said if I got famous, girl, the way I would be cussing people, but you thought Britney Spears was bad. No, because why would you think that I can't say no to giving you an autograph? Why? I don't care if you're 5. No, I'm eating. You should teach your children that other people are individuals and they have the right to set boundaries without making it seem like setting boundaries means they're an asshole. That's what you should teach your children, so that they can grow up and learn how to set boundaries, and they won't get taken advantage of because they were taught by a parent that said that setting boundaries means you're an asshole. So that means that they can never set boundaries. You should respect people's privacy, because I'm not scared to be famous. I'm just scared for the people that think that they can come into my motherfucking shit and think I'm just gonna put on a face every time just because you ask for an autograph or you want a picture or some shit. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'll act like you're invisible. We're not. So if this shit ever blow up, just know that. Just know I'm a human being with boundaries and shit, and you are not about to make up some shit in your head about who you think I am and then try to treat me like that, especially not in the comments, because I'm just gonna be blocking niggas and shit. I don't care anymore. I'm tired. Not that that's happened. No one's really put any fucked up comments. I haven't been bombarded by no fucked up shit, but I'm just saying in general, just so people know. I just want people to know where I'm coming from. So if you try to make up some shit in your head about who you think I am and shit, these are clear words to state that I'm not that bitch that you made up in your head. And if you try to fuck with me, nigga, I'll fuck you over. Don't, so yeah. Welcome, new people. Oh my gosh, she's a bitch. No, I just know how this social media stuff works, and there's a lot of weird ass people out there, and I like to give this warning every time I get a decent chunk of new people, just because people like to act like they own you just because you want to put some shit out in the world. Take the shit I put out in the world and use that. Why you gotta think that you gotta use me too? That shit I put out in the world, that's for you. Take that. You watch that over and over again. You experience that and you learn some shit from it. But you don't gotta I'm not a part of that. Me as the human person I am is not a part of what you're getting as the product on this video. You don't get to own me. You can watch the video though if you so choose. And so see how I respect your boundaries. You ain't gotta watch. It's up to you what you choose to do with this information. As long as it does not involve you disrespecting my space or my boundaries. And that's just who I am. Just because I'm tired and people take liberties with your body and with your words and with your, I was looking at this thing about Steph Curry's wife. And she was literally just talking about, like, in the beginning of her marriage, she was really young. They met when they were like teenagers and shit. And so she never really got to form who she was as a person. And so she didn't like who she thought she was before she got married. She didn't want to get married. She didn't want to have kids early. She wanted to have a career and shit. And then this just kind of happened. And so, but she still wanted to do that later on. So her husband encouraged her to continue like her dream that she had before marriage and start creating her own shit. And this helped her improve who she is and validate who she is as an individual on the inside and shit. And niggas took that shit and said she didn't even want to marry that nigga. See, she didn't even want to have that nigga's kids, and she didn't say that. She can't want to have her own individual situation going on. Like, she couldn't have wanted to have her own dreams and hopes before that nigga came along, and felt really bombarded and confused by this whole situation of now I'm with this famous nigga and I have to be a certain way and shit just so he can look a type of way in the world and shit. See, no, I don't care if I'm with a famous nigga. But she was in her teen years. Like, she you know, you have to grow and learn. That's why niggas don't want to marry bitches my age. I don't care if you are famous. Nothing should be more important than your own self-love and the love you have for me, bitch. Like, I shouldn't have to put on airs or be any type of way. You should just love me for me. Not that I would embarrass a famous nigga. Not on purpose anyways. Like, you know, I'll be absent-minded and saying shit sometimes, but like, I wouldn't embarrass a nigga, but like, I'm not going to sit up here and like not have natural hair or like not like wear makeup all the time when I don't even like wearing makeup like that, or be wearing heels all the time when I got a bad hip and shit. Like, I'm gonna do what I want to do and you're gonna love me anyways, or I don't need to be with you and shit. I don't know what to tell you, and you are gonna think it's the cutest thing in the world. Oh, my little wife, she's just so yes, I'm a dainty lady. So no, niggas be taking your shit, and because they got shit going on in their lives or whatever's going on that they don't want to actually work on and take accountability for, they project that shit onto you and say that you're this and you're that and you're da 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 da. And it's like, no, I'm not. You're just miserable. You're just miserable, and you want me to be miserable like you're miserable because you're not able to set the same boundaries that I can set, and you're mad. Just so straightforward. It's just so I'm very strict. Just very strict. I'm a strict hoe. Anyways, I do appreciate that people come on here and watch my shows though. Like, it's very nice of y'all to do that. You don't have to. So thank you so much. And the new people that subscribe, thank you for subscribing. And I hope that you enjoy Abbott Elementary, because that's what I'm going to be reviewing for the next, few weeks. I don't but let me know what you thought of this review, and later days.